Hello everyone, Formula Ford here and welcome to today's video where we will be continuing our last question mark challenge here on the official MotoGP 24 game. In this video we are going to be riding around the Jerez track in Spain and we are going to be using Jorge Martin on the Prima Pramac Ducati bike, in which we will be racing a 25% race from 22nd in last, clear conditions, and the penalties are on strict for the MotoGP stewards in this race, as well as no assists in this race, and the only one that we've got is the curve indicators as we have had in the last few ones, and we've got a 3-lap sprint ahead of us as well as a 6-lap main race, and we're just getting ready for that to start.
Welcome back everyone, we are here again for Saturday's main event, the sprint race. The duration is half of tomorrow's race, but the level of competition on the track is the same. We're on the starting grid where the lights will soon go out to start the sprint race.
Alright, just getting the bike set up for the sprint race in this, and we're going to be fitting a soft front and rear all around, only because there's only 3 laps anyway, so we can use the softest compound available. And we're going to take the 340mm high mass front brake, and we normally just take the 220 rear brake anyway, so it's normally fine. Getting rid of all the fuel, as we won't be needing that throughout the race, and it's still saying we'll make the end, so we won't have to make any fuel consumption in that race. And we're just looking at the control unit now, and we're probably just going to put these up to 4, make it all balanced rounds. So that's all sorted through there. I think that's pretty much all it for the setup of the bike in this, so we're going to get ready to start the sprint.
The riders are lined up on the grid with Pecco Bagnaia in pole position and ready to start. Just a few more seconds until the lights go out and the race begins.
Just getting ready now for those lights to go out in the sprint. How far can we get up the grid as they go out now? And we've sort of had an average start compared to the other riders, and we're going to look for the outside move as we come into turn 1 there. We're going to back out of that. It looks like we're going to go up the inside with a few riders here, just trying to pick our moment. They're all going into here. There's loads of battles coming out of here. The pack is very bunched up, so we're just trying to slot our way through however we can. We're up into 15th place at the moment. Just trying to get through a couple of these riders here because they're all battling it amongst each other as we're going wide into here, but we get cut back on a few riders there, and we've already made it up into 10th place ahead of our teammate for this race, Morbidelli. Just coming into Danny Pedrosa corner now, nice and hard onto the brakes into here, but not as wide as some of the riders into here, and we get a couple of more up the inside there as we're just settling in behind Brad Binder now as we're coming in through here as they go wide a bit there. So we're going to have Brad Binder up the inside. Are we going to have something into Alex Marquez into here? No, we're going to go a bit wide, but it looks like he's not had a great line through there. We kind of pinched him on the inside. Are we going to be able to cut back? No, we kind of make contact with him, so we're trying to have to let him back past again. But we're going around the outside this time a lot more cleaner than we did in the previous turn, where we had to let him back. But we've already got up to 6th place by the end of lap 1 really, as a few more riders go right wide into there. as we've now got a great exit on Maverick Vinales there, up into 4th place, as we're now amongst the riders for the podium. And Marc Marquez and Bastianini are sorting it out for themselves. Are we going to be able to do something on the inside? It's going to be risky, but they've had to give us a space after all. We're already up into 2nd place, ready to go have a go at Pecco Bagnaia in this race. He normally just goes and controls it from the front whenever he is in the lead of these races, either that be in the game or in real life. But he's really slow on the apex. And we are the king of the sprints, Jorge Martin, for this weekend. Are we going to be able to do something as we come down the straight now? We've out-dragged him, but he's gone really deep onto the brakes. I think he's gone way too deep onto the brakes, and he has. And he's crashed. He's crashed in the sprint as Pecco Bagnaia. That is exactly where Jorge Martin crashed in the actual race itself for this season. And we are now back ahead of Pecco Bagnaia. We've gone from 22nd to 1st already by the middle of this 2nd lap, so we just need to bring it home now. We are 2.6 seconds ahead of Bastianini. He is followed by Marc Marquez in this race. Then we've got Maverick Vinales ahead of Pedro Acosta. Then we've got Alex Marquez. Brad Binder comes in 7th place and Bezzecchi in 8th. Pecco Bagnaia is out of this sprint, so he won't be scoring points in this. And we'll be getting the win as long as we can keep ourselves on the bike as we get track limits warning there. Just getting a bit greedy on the exit there as we set the fastest lap now of this sprint. Coming into the first turn there, we go a bit wide, but we bring the bike back up as we're coming into Michelin corner now. Nice and easy there, and we're just carrying the racing line through there. And we're just trying to eat the gap out now to Bastianini in this, but also just staying on the bike as we're coming through now. We go a bit wider, the apex there, getting a bit greedy on the accelerator as we enable the ride height device coming down into Dani Pedrosa corner now. We're just nice and easy into here with Dani Pedrosa corner. 6 tenths up on our fastest lap as it is. We're 4.9 seconds now ahead of Andrea Bastianini, just putting that gap out more and more on this last lap of this sprint as we're going nice and tight to the apex there. We're coming into Angelo Nieto in turn 9. Probably just absolutely butchered that name in all honesty, so I am sorry to his fellow Spanish if I've absolutely butchered that. We're just trying to say some names in here. Some very famous MotoGP riders have been named after these corners as we're coming into Jorge Lorenzo corner now. Most famous for the Rossi and Germinal incident, but also Jorge Lorenzo and Marc Marquez as we come across the line, do a bit of a wheelie, and we want the sprint from the back of the grid for Jorge Martin.
As the riders return to the pits, let's take a look at the final results of this race.
So, as Jorge Martin, we win the sprint from 22nd place. We make it an all Ducati podium as well in this sprint as we win with Jorge Martin. And Andrea Bastianini gets 2nd place on the factory Ducati bike. Then we got Marc Marquez in 3rd place, rounding out the sprint podium. Alex Marquez then comes home in 4th, just behind his brother in 4th place. Then we got Maverick Vinales in 5th place, the highest of the Prilias. Then we got Pedro Acosta in 6th place for the Gas team, just ahead of Brad Binder, who finishes in 7th. Alex Rins gets some sprint points for the Monster Yamaha team in 8th. Then we got Aleix Espargaro rounding out the points in this sprint. Marco Bezzecchi just misses out in 10th place as our teammate for this race, Franco Morbidelli, gets 11th in the sprint. Then we've got Fabio Gianantonio on the VR46 bike getting 12th. Miguel Oliveira comes in 13th then for the Trackhouse Aprilia team. Then we've got Luca Marini, who is the first of the Hondas in this. Fabio Quartararo gets 15th for the Monster Energy Yamaha team. Then we've got Raul Fernandez, the next Trackhouse bike, in 16th place. Then comes Jack Miller in 17th place for the KTM squad. Then we've got Johan Mir in 18th place for the Repsol Honda team. Then comes Johan Zarco on that Castrol LCR Honda. Then we've got Augusto Fernandez in 20th place for the Gas team. Taka Nakagami comes home in 21st place, and the only non-classified rider at the end of that is Pecco Bagnaia, who crashed out at the Danny Pedrosa corner on lap 2.
Where everything's ready for the sprint podium. It really was a thrilling race, with teams and fans absolutely loving it. Good morning and welcome to the Jerez de la Frontera circuit. We are live at the Spanish Grand Prix, one of the longest running events in the history of MotoGP. Just a few more moments and we'll switch to the starting straight for the MotoGP class race. As you can see, we're heading to the starting grid where everyone is ready for the start of the race. Today is a perfect day for racing. The sun is shining and temperatures are mild. Most of the riders plumping straight for medium tyres at the front and rear.
Here we are then, on the back of the grid for the main race itself. Can we repeat our recent performance by win what we did in the sprint, and we win in this main race itself as well? We're going to take a medium front in this race. We're just looking at the brake discs. I think we're going to stay the exact same as what we did, as we felt really comfortable in the last race. Just making sure that we'll definitely get away with fuel for this race. Yeah, just fiddling around with that, just making sure, because we can definitely lift and coast in this with the pace that we had from yesterday. It looks like we're going to go with 3, 3 and 4 for the ECU. We changed that during the sprint as we just felt a little bit more comfortable with less aids as we get ready for the start of the race.
The lights are about to go out. Pecco Bagnaia is starting from the front row thanks to that pole position from yesterday. All hell will break loose in a few moments.
Here we go then, on the grid for the main race itself. Can we repeat what we did in the sprint, or will Pecco Bagnaia go one better? As we get the lights go out now, we get an average start as we're coming into turn 1. What we're going to do is we come into turn 1 and we're going to do our same tactics. I think we are. So we're going to try and cut inside, but we do make a bit of contact, so sorry for that, Raul Fernandez. But we're looking into turn 2 now, just trying to stay out of this battle here. Just try and look for opportunity as we did in the sprint. Just looking around, trying not to make contact with any of the riders again, as we're already up into 18th place in this race. We go at the inside of Johan Zarco into here. So we're looking now turn 5. We made a bit of contact with Taka Nakagami. I don't know if we're going to get a warning for that. They're being quite lenient, the stewards. We normally get some sort of warning every time that we hit a rider at the back, as we're coming into Danny Pedrosa corner now, just getting at the inside, attacking Nakagami again. Jack Miller really slow on the exit there, so we're now looking at our teammate Franco Morbidelli in this race, who's in 13th. So we're already into the points on this first lap as they go down from 1st to 15th. As we get the inside of Franco Morbidelli, is he going to have us into turn 9 this is? Yes he is, because he's got the inside line. We're coming into turn 10 now. Are we going to be able to do something on exit? It's not normally an overtaking spot up until the last corner now really, but we're going to be able to do something on Franco Morbidelli, our teammate for this race. We're going to be able to do something into Danny Pedrosa corner. We do hit him in the back, and we're trying to get through on the inside of them there, but we are going to be put under investigation for that, as we do get a track limits warning on the exit there. But we make it past Franco Morbidelli and we get past Quattararo on the straight with that Ducati power, that hand we've got a warning for that incident with our teammate, but it's not like it's changed his position at all, so we've only got a warning as we're going at the inside of Miguel Oliveira now. It's a bit more slower progress in this main race itself, but we don't need to take as many risks in this. We hit the back of Aleix Espargaro, we kind of just roll off the accelerator, so then he's allowed back through again. We're looking for an exit out of here, but we get a bit of wheel spin on exit. They're going to be able to do something to Aleix Espargaro into this next turn here. We go hard onto the brakes, we go a bit wide. Is he going to get us back up here? I think we just forced him off the apex there a tiny bit, and we get up into 10th place. Now we're behind one of the Marquez brothers. This one is Alex, who is in 9th place in this race. Pecco Bagnaia is still leading this race from his teammate Enea Bastianini, as Alex's brother Marc Marquez has now got up into 2nd place. Actually, he's just passed Enea Bastianini, so it is Marc Marquez behind Pecco Bagnaia now. Is he going to threaten him for the win in this main race itself? We have to look at Alex Marquez first though. We go at the inside and we make a bit of contact with him. We both go wide into that corner, but he did kind of just shut the door on us there, but we weren't taking no for an answer. As we get past Brad Binder on the straight there, like he was absolutely nothing. As we're looking at Digi now, we've kind of just pushed him past the apex as well, but now we're up into 7th place in this race. As the VR46 bikes are doing really well in this race with 6th and 9th. He's lost the place to Brad Binder in the end as Digi, as we're looking at his teammate Marco Bezzecchi, who's having a good race in this. And we've got Pedro Acosta in 5th place. I believe that's one of the Aprilias that's in 4th place at the moment. Are we looking at the inside of Bezzecchi into this one? We're just going to level him up into this corner, and we don't want to go too wide, and we get up into 6th place with them. And I was right, it is Maverick Vinales in 4th place, so he's having a good race for the Aprilia team in this. And they all go quite wide into this left-hander here, turn 8. As we're looking into turn 9 now, we're going to have any opportunity through these corners on Pedro Acosta here. At the moment, no, we're just kind of just tucking in behind him at the moment, but he doesn't seem to be getting good corner speed, as we're going to go up the inside there on the Ferrari corner at turn 12. It's very unorthodox into there, as we're coming into Jorge Lorenzo corner now. We just kind of had to go a bit wide there just to make sure that Pedro Acosta didn't come back up the inside of us, as we're looking at Maverick Vinales and Marc Marquez now, as Maverick looks to go up the inside of Marc Marquez into turn 1 here. Are we going to be able to do something on the exit here? They're kind of just having their own little battle here. We're going to try and go at the inside or around the outside either way, but we get track limits warning there, and Maverick Vinales has gone wide, and we get him on the exit there up into 4th place. As we go massively wide on exit there, we kind of just stamped the throttle, so then we got out of that corner fine. But yeah, we've taken a lot of heat into that tyre, as we're looking at Marc Marquez now, and we're going to breeze past him on this straight here as we enabled the ride height device. And the straight line speed for the player on this game is just ridiculous against the AI. So hopefully MotoGP and the milestone producers sort that out in the future games as well. Up into the podium spots now in this race, and it is just the Lenovo Ducatis left in this race. Enea Bastianini in 2nd place, and Pecco Bagnaia has just pretty much controlled this race from the start. He's just hoping to take some points away from us in this race now, as we've lost the back end again there. It's just a result of having the traction control on 3, I think. It's a touch optimistic from us as we go a tiny bit wide, but not as nearly as wide as Enea Bastianini there. So we're trying to close in now. We'll definitely close in on the straight here, and we're going to go into turn 1 here. Enea Bastianini does go a bit wide. We're going to be able to get something on exit. No, not quite yet. So we're going to look at turn 2, or maybe a little bit later in this lap. we're just trying to look at our options here. We don't want to be too reckless with this move. We're going to go the inside of turn 4, not at the moment, so it might be looking like we get someone on the straight unless we can get them up the inside into here. But we go onto the grass there and we get another track limits warning. We're a bit optimistic into that turn, and we're lucky not to fall off really in that, because most of the time if you go on the grass, this is a MotoGP game after all, but we should have been a goner there after touching the grass. As we're looking, and we go Enea Bastianini, he looks back, he lost the front there momentarily in that turn. So we're looking now, where can we get Enea Bastianini? We're going to get him here up the inside, because the AI goes really wide into that turn there for whatever reason, because they do lose a lot of time, and we're up into second place. So we've just got Pecco Bagnaia. It might be a bit too little too late unless we can get a really good fast lap into here. But we're already within of second of Pecco Bagnaia here, so as long as we just keep our nose clean, we might have a chance at this win against Pecco. But it's going to be difficult. One of the riders has gone down there. I think it was a KTM I just saw off the screen, so I believe it was Brad Binder who was floating around the top 10 there. So unfortunately we've lost him out of the top 10 of this race. The question is though, is where are we going to get Pecco Bagnaia in this race? The straight is a very good option, as we do have very good straight line speed against the AI in these races. We're going to be able to get closer into turn 5. We do lose the front momentarily there. The fronts have gone a bit off in this race, in all honesty. We've not quite got the speed as we're coming into Danny Pedrosa corner here. He does go a bit wide, and we're going to be able to do something on the exit here. No, he kind of pinches us to the apex there, so that was really smart from Pecco Bagnaia, but he's lost the front! He's lost the front into turn 7! He's crashed out of this race! And is he out of this race as well? As we now get into the lead, he is out! So he's not scored any points in this weekend at all. And it looked like we were just settling for second in that race, but we are going to take 4 points in this weekend as we won the sprint. It looks like we might just win the main race itself, as long as we can keep our nose clean now and just stay on the bike into this last turn of Jorge Lorenzo. Pecco Bagnaia has crashed out of the sprint and the main race, and we have gone from 22nd to 1st in the sprint and now in the race as Jorge Martin. Get in there.
Let's take a look at the final classification of the MotoGP race before the traditional podium ceremony.
So we have done the double here in Jerez as Jorge Martin from the back of the grid in not only the sprint but the race itself, as Pecco Bagnaia has crashed in both of the sprint and in the main race itself while he had us pressuring him behind. Enea Bastianini comes home in second place to salvage some points for the main Ducati team, as Maverick Vinales gets on the podium for the Aprilia factory team. Pedro Acosta comes home in 4th place for a very good points haul for the Gas team. Marc Marquez finishes in 5th place for the Gresini team. Marco Bezzecchi gets 6th place for the VR46 team, just ahead of his teammate Fabio Di Gianantonio, who finishes in 7th place in this race for a good points haul for the VR46 team. Alex Marquez then comes home in 8th place for the Gresini team, as Aleix Espargaro gets 9th for the Aprilia. Then we've got Miguel Oliveira coming home in 10th place for the Trackhouse team. Just missing out then in 11th place is Fabio Quartararo for the Monster Energy Yamaha team. Then we've got Brad Binder coming home in 12th place. I was unsure really if it was either him or Jack Miller come off in this race. We might be able to tell as we go down the order here, as Franco Morbidelli, our teammate, finishes in 13th place. Bit of a disappointing race for him there. just lingering above the points. Then we've got Alex Rins coming home in 14th place for the Monster Energy Yamaha team, so they've got a double here. Then we've got Ralph Fernandez nicking the last point in 15th place for the Trackouts Brilliant team. Then we've got Jack Miller in 16th place. It looks like it was him then that come off in this race for the KTM team, as he finishes in 16th place, so not too bad if he had a fall. Then we've got Taka Nakagami, who is the first of the Hondas in this, in 17th place. Luca Marini comes home for the Repsol Honda team in 18th. Then we've got Johan Zarco on the LCR Castrol bike in 19th place. Augusto Fernandez finishes in 20th place on the Gas bike. Then we've got in 21st place Johan Mir, who rounds out the classified riders in this, as Pecco Bagnaia has had a double DNF in this weekend. He crashed in the sprint at turn 6 on lap 2, and he crashes here on the last lap at turn 7 while battling us for the lead of this race. So that is a bitterly disappointing end to this weekend for Pecco Bagnaia, as we win from the back of the grid to do the double, as we now go to the podium to celebrate.
We're back from Parc Fermé with the winner, who blessed us with a perfect race today. In addition to the victory, this young man scored some very important points for the world standing. The team members of the top 3 riders are gathering under the podium after today's superb show. They can finally let off some steam and celebrate.
So we complete the double as Jorge Martin at Jerez in this video. So that ends our video for today. Thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, then be sure to give it a like. If you are new around here, then do get subscribed for more motorsport content like this. I have been Formula Ford, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. Goodbye. Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through?